Hey YouTube, Kira Qualia here, bringing you all an update to my Cardfight Vanguard Overdress Youthberk deck profile for post-flight of Chakrabarthi. Big thanks to my buddy Anthony for letting me borrow his Youthberk Revel Form deck for the update. Revel Dress finally got updated support in the form of Youthberk Revel Form Full Blast, being able to incorporate all the many different past Revel forms that we have into one deck using this new boss monster of a Revel Dress ability. So very, very awesome for this new unit that we got in the deck, making use of all the new support we got for the Revel Dress deck with these new added cards. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off with the ride deck as usual. Our starter is following Youth in footsteps. Youth, when rode upon, if you went second, draw a card. So the standard starter for the deck with our grade 1 being determined to break away Youth. On when this unit is rode upon by Knight of Ardent Light, Youth, Soul Blast 1. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Choose up to 1 card with Youthberk and its name from among them. Reveal it, put it into your hand. Or choose up to 1 grade 2 or less unit from among them, call it to rearguard, and put the rest on the bottom of the deck in any order. So you have setup, thanks to this card, being able to search out the needed Youthberk cards for your many different Revel Dress plays. Our grade 2 is Knight of Ardent Light, Youth. When rode upon by a unit with the Revel Dress ability, Counterblast 1, choose a grade 2 or greater card from your drop, and put it into your hand. So if you have to discard anything for the cost of any of your abilities, you can rely on Youth to at least add those cards back to your hand. With our grade 3 being Youthberk Skyfall Arms. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked, Revel Dress, choose up to 1 card with Revel Form its name from your hand, ride it as stoned, and this unit gets drive -2 to end of turn. So this allows your Vanguard to perform basically the overdress of the Vanguard ability, which is Revel Dress. So then you can attack with an additional Vanguard attack and just having the drive -2 thanks to that card. And then on Vanguard Circle, once per turn, discard a card from your hand, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 card with Revel Form its name from among them, reveal it, put it into your hand, or choose up to 1 grade 2 or less card from among them and call to rearguard. So regardless, you'll have a pretty good amount of search and setup thanks to your Youthberk Skyfall Arms and the search that it can provide. Along with the copies we are running in the ride deck, we are also running the 3 additional copies in the main deck. So we have the Persona Ride power, very, very vital, depending on also the Youthberk Revel form we go into, but still the additional power will also be provided to the Vanguard that we ride on top of, thanks to Skyfall Arms as well. And for the new boss monster, we are running 4 copies of Youthberk Revel Form Full Blast. When placed on the Vanguard by Revel Dress ability, Counterblast 1, perform all the following according to the names in your soul. If you have all the following, all your front row also get +15 until end of turn. So with the Persona Ride, that's a plus 25,000 power pressure to the front row, including your rear guards. If you have Revel Form Zest, this unit gets plus critical +1. If it's Revel Form Gust, it gets drive +1. If it's Revel Form Tempest, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and put it on the bottom of the deck. So you take one of their resources and basically incorporating all of the many different Revel Form abilities all into one card. Then at the end of the turn, choose a card with Revel Dress from your soul and ride it as rest, going back into the Skyfall Arms form that you need to then be able to perform Revel Dress the following turn. So a definite 4 of, though, it's going to be your main go-to Revel form that you want to go into with all your other cards. For the numbers for the other Revel forms, 2 copies of Tempest. I would say Tempest is the next best, just because you have draw power, revealing the top 2 cards of your deck, choosing your opponent's rear guards with the same name or grade as the reveal cards, and putting them on the bottom of the deck, and the rest of the cards go into your hand. And then also, it can be set up for your soul with other cards, but there are other cards we run the deck as well to set up the Revel forms in your soul, so you don't initially have to go into them. We have the Revel Form Gust for the drive +1, and the Zest for the critical +1, which once again, all of these cards go into the new Revel Form Full Blast ability. So you want to be able to add them into your soul with the abilities of some of the other cards you run in the deck, including one of our new grade 2s, which is Witch of Extinguishment for Gosa. When placed on rearguard, if you have a Vanguard with Youth and its card name, Soul Blast 1, search your deck or drop for up to 1 card with Revel Form and its name, put it into the soul. And if you search your deck, shuffle the deck, and if your soul has 3 or more cards with Revel Form, you can Soul Blast 1 card without Revel Form to draw a card. So draw power, but you just have to have that other soul set up to do so. But this card is meant just to set up the, the smaller numbers for the many different Youth Revel forms that we run in the deck to then be able to use Full Blast at its full power. And we're also running the option of when this card Vanguard is placed by the Revel Dress ability, or when your Vanguard's placed by it, it gets +5. So on top of the +15 and the Persona Ride, your Witch of Extinguishment Fregosa can be hitting for some pretty big power without even being boosted. And then 3 copies of Schneisel. You have Search Power, choosing a grade 3 card when it's placed on rear guard, and counterblasting 1 from among them from the top 5 of your deck, revealing it and putting it in your hand. And then this unit gets +5,000 to end of turn. And when this unit attacks a Vanguard, you can choose one of your Vanguards and it gets +5. So additional power to stack up on top of your Vanguard using this card as well, which can be good because sometimes if you don't have the drive check, you just need to hit for that additional Vanguard pressure that it'll be going for. For the grade 1s, we're running 4 copies of Bard of Brave Instrument Carino. When placed on rearguard from deck during your turn, if you discarded it from hand during your turn, if you have a Vanguard with Youth in its card name, search your deck or drop for up to 1 card with Revel form in its name, reveal it, put it into your hand. If you search the deck, shuffle the deck. If you put a card into hand, choose a card from your hand and put it into the soul. So then just having the search option once again to, sift through the different Revel forms you need, having a particular discard cost card you want to go for in the form of Carino to do so, because then with the one-of cards that you're running for your cards with Youth, you can then search your drop as well. So if you have to heal any of the Revel forms that were damage checked, you can do so with Carino, being able to put them into the drop zone, back into the soul. And then also 4 copies of Witch of Accumulation Sequana. Sequana, during your turn, if you have a Vanguard with Youthberk in its card name, it gets +2,000. And on rearguard, when your unit is placed by the Vanguard by the ability of Revel Dress, put this unit in the soul, choose one of your Vanguards, and increase or decrease its drive to 1 until end of turn. So then you have the option to use Sequana first, setting your Vanguard at that 1 drive, and then using Full Blast to give you drive +1. So then you'll be attacking with your Vanguard for 2 drive checks full power with the Restood Vanguard attack. You just got to remember to activate the Sequana first so you can do so. And then lastly, for the grade 1s, our Sentinel lineup. So the 1 copy of Elementaria Sanctitude and the 3 copies of Aegis Mare Dragon for the additional triple drive protection with Sanctitude, and then the 3 Aegis Mare. So if you have less cards in your hand, you can save the other Aegis Mares for going up against your opponent and any of their other attacks they may have. For the trigger lineup, we're running the 7 criticals. So the 4 copies of Blade, Feather, Dragon, and then the 3 Volition Dragon as well. Added pressure with your Vanguard being able to attack again, and also just making it so if you get the the triggers early on, you can give them to your rear guards to have those pressured attacks on top of your Vanguard's attack as well, with the next trigger spots being 4 copies of Alpac, the front trigger, so added pressure on top of the +15 that Full Blast can give. Persona Rides, you're adding up even more with the +10,000 power that front triggers also give to the front row. With the last of the triggers being 4 copies of the heal. So we have the Recuperate Angel for this, just no ability triggers, just so we have the +15k shield without having to have any specifications for any units. And then lastly, the 1 copy of the Spiritual King of Ignition, Valnut, being able to choose a rearguard and stand it, and it gets the additional skill on rearguard at the end of the battle this unit attacked, stand this unit until end of turn. So you have to choose one of your stood rearguards, and then being able to with this card, stand it. And if you do not choose a card, draw a card, choose up to 1 card from your hand and call it to rearguard, giving you multiple rearguard attacks to also use. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoy. Once again, big thanks to my buddy Anthony for letting me borrow his Youth deck for the update. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira Qualia out.